Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. This is a new software, so just wanted to check everything is all right. Welcome to the webinar of 31st July. It's all about InstaWP version 3 and what do we have new in this version. Before we get started, can I see some chats so that I know you are listening to me properly? All good? Awesome. Thanks, JP, for the confirmation. Really love the way you are excited about this. Also made me pumped about the webinar. So thank you, man. Um, anybody else on the stream? I can see some people join the stream already. Let's give everybody maybe one more minute to join in, to tune in, and we shall get started then. It has been some time. I saw the timestamp. I think the last webinar which we had was in February, so almost 5 months ago. And now we are starting a new series. So this is our first webinar of quarter three, and we will have much more. We have planned several webinars with amazing guests as well, and myself talking about InstaWP new features and the way you can use InstaWP. Let's just wait a couple of more seconds and then we'll get started. Till then, if you have joined just now, feel free to say hi. Where are you from? What do you do? Try to promote yourself a little bit. Post the name of your agency so that others can also look at it. Yeah, JP, it makes sense now, right? Thanks. Thanks for the confirmation. All right. I think, yeah, the reason why we stopped doing webinars was obviously we were busy with the new platform, and we essentially rewrote a major, um, almost like the whole billing model, right? Welcome, Aizu. Welcome to the webinar. So we rewrote a lot of components, and that's what made us busy for the last couple of months. And we are now back on our feet. We are ready to show what we have built and ready to share with our users. All right. So with that, let's get started without further ado. So I hope you are able to see this slideshow. Basically, today we are going to dive deep into the new InstaWP usage-based or pay-as-you-go site plans. And today we are going to cover some topics. Just wanted to make sure I will just check with um, someone to just to make sure that it's working all right. Because since this is a new software, just bear with me. Is the screen all right? So okay, so I just got in confirmation from our teammate. All right, so today we are going to learn what's new in InstaWP v3 and why should it matter. And excuse me, I have got a bit of a cough and cold, so bear with me for that. And how does the new pay-as-you-go pricing works and saves you money? Deep dive into the new site plans and use cases. Smarter sandbox to production workflows. This is something you are going to love, I'm sure. And seamless post-production management and on-demand scaling. So let's dive in, literally dive in. Today we are going to see the new and snappy dashboard. This was released a couple of months ago, so you might have seen that already. Pay-as-you-go billing model. So this is new for more, but this was released end of last month. and flexible new site plans for Sandbox and beyond. Let's talk about the new site plans. But before we go further, let's just do a quick demo of what we have built. So this is the new dashboard. You might be familiar with it because we released it in February. But if you are new, then you are going to love it. We have arranged all the top bar items into a much more accessible left bar menu. So, or the left sidebar, you can see the sites, and we have renamed snapshots into, sorry, we have renamed templates into snapshots. And, excuse me, we have a manage tab, which we used to have, and we have collected all the selling tools under the sell tab. You will find templates there. So now you can save a site as a snapshot or a template. So remember, we had templates. If you guys are familiar with it, we had templates. Now we have separated them out into two topics. One is snapshot for your own private use, or you want to share a link for others to create a site, or if you want to sell. So that those are now called templates. And then we have VAS, which a lot of people love and ask for. By the way, we excuse me, I have a bad news about VAS. For the new pay-as-you-go site plans, VAS doesn't work yet, so we are working on that. More on the roadmap at the end of this webinar. And then we have payouts, etc. We have put all the configuration, deployments, commands, and team settings, and we are adding a white label menu also here for the settings and the integrations. All right. And we have the teams section here. If you create a new account now, if you are existing user, you will get access to all of these, and plus the new dashboard if you are existing users. What I'm saying. So let me try to rephrase that. To use the new pay as you go account, you need to create a new account and add your credit card. If you are an existing customer, if you are a new customer, you are already a pay as you go account holder. To how to check that, click on the usage thing and you will see dollar amount here and current usage. That means you are a pay as you go customer. If you don't see that, that means you are not. You will see the name of the plan you are on. By the way, I will talk about that in a moment. And I have several sites right now, which you can see in this box, because I have other teams as well where I've created these sites. Let's have a look at the site. This is very similar to before. Now you don't see a toggle for um, a permanent or temporary site. Everything on pay as you go is by default permanent, right? You can mark them because this was happening. A lot of people did not know about the concept of temporary or permanent, so we removed that. We have a new data center. It's called Australia, and our users in Australia are really loving that. We can add more. So if you feel free to reach out if a favorite data center is not there. We need few sites which you want to migrate, but that's the only commitment which we need. And you see the familiar interface to create a site. And then we have these site plans, which we will talk about in a moment. All right, so this was the new and snappy dashboard, and it works really fast, really well, super fast, with all the options combined into one single panel. All right, so the next item in our list is deep diving into site plans. So understanding how the new pay-as-you-go site plan works, what are the features of these plans, and is there any free plan or free tier, as we call it now, anymore? So let's dive in. First of all, I'm going to go to our marketing pricing site so that you get a fair idea about what I'm talking about. Um, so this is the new pricing page, and you will see that the site plans start from free. Obviously, free is free, and you get up to 3 active sites. Excuse me. You get up to 3 free active sites for the price of $0 per month, and those will expire in 48 hours. But if you are serious, you want to build a site for a client, you start with Sandbox. With Sandbox, you get all the basic features like SFTP, map domain, etc. So you don't need to pay anything else. So you can start as low as $2 per month. So that's the first advantage of pay as you go. You don't have to commit to a larger fixed monthly where you get a set of sites and then you have to continuously pay for that every single month, even though you don't use them. So that's point number one. Point number two is you will also see a daily tab. People create monthly and yearly tabs. We create monthly and daily tabs. I think there is something wrong with the daily tab. Just give me a moment while I refresh it. Yeah, I think something is broken, as you know, things might be. But you can see that on the new site. The sandbox plan is 7 cents a day, $0.07 a day. That means if you keep it for just say 2 days, then you will be charged 14 cents. How cool is that? So we have a per day pricing. Excuse me for my throat. I have a bit of a cough. Please excuse me for that. So you pay per day and you don't pay for per month, right? So that's the advantage of the new price plan also. So this is the second advantage. And we you can take a site, you can create a site in sandbox plan and later on upgrade to a starter site or a plus site. And every single plan comes up with some features. For example, the basic feature is number of workers. Number of workers is very similar to number of CPUs, right? So as many workers you see in a plan, we will be able to spin up those many PHP workers on those many CPUs for you. So how cool is that? And if you start with a starter plan, which is good for tiny sites, which is just $5 a month, you get a basic CDN with 10 pops. So we call that Insta CDN. The Insta CDN will give you 10 pops around the world. The site will be slightly faster, good enough for a tiny site. You get 10 GB of disk space per site. So this is all per site plan. You get weekly backups instead of monthly backups. So sandbox are not meant for backups though, right? So we still give you monthly backup. But with starter, you get weekly. And then with plus, this is the real deal, right? With every all the bells and whistles. So you get one more worker. You can actually calculate the price here while you add it. So you get one more worker, you get 30 GB of CDN bandwidth, you get disk space of 20 GB, you get daily backups of both files and database, and you get Shield, which is the Insta Shield, which protects you from DDoS and which stops common attacks like SQL injection, zero-day attacks using the security shield. We call it web application firewall. You might be familiar with that. So you no longer need a WAF plugin on your site, right? So further reducing the load on your site. And then we also ship the advanced site management with that. So you get daily performance reports, daily vulnerability scanning, customer reports, PDF reports, and all of that. I will show a quick demo on how these things look like. So, and then if you need more resources, then keep upgrading. And then if you need even more, you can talk to our team to get custom pricing. So that was about like the workers, the CDN, the shield. By the way, one thing I did not explain the difference between the basic CDN and the premium CDN. So the premium CDN has more pops around the world. So site will be faster for a wider audience. And the same thing can be seen on our dashboard. So when you click on new site, at the end of your final steps, you can see the sandbox, the starter plan, the plus plan, and all of these plans together. So let me create a sandbox site, right? So it comes with no CDN, no shield, but with monthly backup. So let's have a new site. And as things go, InstaWP is quite literally really fast, and you get the site. This is something you have seen before. So if I click on a site, I'll be able to do all the site building tools which I used to have. And I will talk about those in a moment. And we have one more cool feature which is called as local mount, and you're going to love it. So you start with the sandbox, and then you can change the plan here to a plus plan. And then we will automatically activate CDN, we will automatically activate Shield, and we do daily backups instead of monthly backups. All of that in just $9. So just imagine how what you can do with it. With the sandbox plan, as I told earlier, you get all the tools, nothing is limited. So if you go to PHP config, you can change any values here. So including execution timeout or memory limit, etc. You also get access to map domain, so you can actually map a staging site and show it to your customer. A lot of people have asked us to reduce the pricing on white label, so that's exactly what I've done, what we have done. If you go to the teams section and enable white label, right now we are not billing it, but once we start to bill it, it will be, I may be wrong, but it should be around $5 per team. Now you have no limits on how many teams you can create in the pay as you go plan. You have literally no limits on how many team members you can invite as well. I think we allow 99 team members by default. So we don't charge you on team members, we don't charge you on teams, but we do charge you on white label. Previously, we used to charge $20. Now we will charge you just $5. With white label, you can add your own suffix. So you can say agency sites.com, or you can have a subdomain and point to our NS records. So then we will start to use that to provision new sites. All right, so that's how you create a sandbox, and I showed you some of the tools which we have. Do we have any free tier? Yes, we do. So you can create up to 3 free active sites. So you can enjoy basically free sites without paying anything. We do require a credit card because we were getting tons of abuse. So we have now reduced that abuse to zero, almost zero. And that's a good thing for you, right? Because if the platform is abuse free, then the domains are abuse free and it is not marked as phishing domain, etc. So we are good in that area. One more thing, which is a lesser known fact, is that you can actually manage unlimited sites in the free tier. Let me show you how. So just imagine this site is something you want to manage. Let's just magic log into that. The idea is that um, this site can be on any provider. It can be on any hosting company which you like. So just copy the URL, and if you want to manage it, so manage is very similar to the management product, the site management products which you might already know, something like a managed WP or main WP. So you can connect a site and you can paste the URL. And right now I'm using a free plan, right? So you don't need to pay anything and connect the site. So it will open up a new box or a new window where you authorize our application to the site. If you are not logged into the site, it will ask you to log in first, right? It's not something we are bypassing anything. And this is a core feature of WordPress. So I approve of this connection, and then we remotely install our plugin into your website. And then we connect our system, the server, to your website. Doesn't matter where it is. And then we do basic checks, basic performance checks, basic vulnerability check, and all of cool things like that. And you get free management solution. So let's refresh this. Yeah, there we go. So if you click on it, you get plugins access. So you can update plugins from here. There are a lot of things you can do with the basic plan, which we call as free plan. Then you can go to the theme section, right? You can generate reports, but I think that's a part of our paid plan, which we charge $2 per month per site, right? So you can choose not to do it. You can choose to do it. It's up to you. You can also see uptime in the free plan. I think you don't get uptime monitoring. That's right. We do a one-time vulnerability check for you when you add your site, but you cannot do new scans until you upgrade to a $2 plan. I think this is incorrect. This should say $2 per month. So if you convert to an advanced site, so that means now you get access to everything. But you get the gist, right? You get the idea. You can do basic management. You can see the site. You can magically log into it. You can purge your cache. All the basic management feature set is still free. You can create a staging site. You will be charged separately for the staging site, though. You can open the DB editor and etc. So enjoy using that. So that's the part of your free tier. So let's talk about the side plans. I think we have talked about it already. Lot of plans, and then we don't charge you a platform fee. You don't, excuse me. You don't pay a monthly platform fee. By the way, keep asking questions in the comment box. I will look at it at the end of this webinar, and I will answer each and every one of them. If you go below in our pricing plan, you will see that the snapshots or templates are charged at $1 per snapshot. Doesn't matter the size of the snapshot. If it is an instant snapshot, it will be $2 per month. So that means if you switch on, let me show you. If you switch on this icon here, okay, I don't have a snapshot right now, so let me create one. So this is the site I'm going to create a snapshot from. This is my snap 31st July, and then I save it. And now if I will have an instant snapshot icon here very soon. Let me try to refresh it. Yeah, there we go. So this is right now off. If I switch it on, then I will be charged $2 per month. The cool thing about our new usage-based pricing, you can actually see everything. So go to the subscription. By the way, we are renaming the subscription menu to usage, which makes more sense. And you go to the subscription, and then you browse. Whatever you are using, you will be shown here, right? So if you are using snapshots, if you are using templates, if you are using site management, that will be advanced site management, not basic one, which is free. And then the sites. So for example, I created a snapshot. I can click on view usage, and I can see the usage. So I'll be charged for a day. If I delete the snapshot today, I'll be charged just 4 cents. That's it. So you can see your usage, your past usage, everything very transparently, no problems at all. All right. So that's how you will see the usage. And if you have credits, by the way, I did not spoke about one more thing. If you create a new account today, you will get $25 as free credits starting today. And you will be able to see your credits on top once you have that. Anyway, so back to the site plans. So we have covered the site plans. I told you about the site plans, the snapshot. Migrations will be charged at $2 per migration. Right now it is free. To do migrations, click on migrate websites, and you will be able to migrate a website from anywhere to anywhere using our web-based migration. And it is really, really cool. You should definitely check it out. Right now it is free, so just go for it. I told about the basic site management. It's $0, but advanced site management is $2 per month. And then we have some operation-based activities. And then the VAS is going to be free, the new VAS, which will work with the new site plans. Right now, it is not yet working, so don't try to use it. We estimate 3 to 4 weeks for the VAS to be released. But you can use the WooCommerce, the new WooCommerce extension, which we will inform you next week through email, and that is like really cool. It's well done. So you can actually sell websites through WooCommerce, which is preloaded with content or AI builder, and you can completely automate your agency. And we will do a webinar on that. So we are basically reinventing VAS ourselves. We are the ones which we did it, and we are reinventing one more time. Um, let's understand the sandbox to production workflows. Before I dive further, let me just have a look at the comments. What's the amount of RAM per worker? So per worker, we are giving you 512 MB of RAM. So no problem there. And the CDN and the GB on CDN transfer. So that is actually listed on our site plans. If you go here, you will see that this is the GB on the CDN. So 30 GB CDN on the plus plan. We are contemplating on an idea to increase this at least 1.5x times. So right now it is better than other providers, and later it will be even more sweet. What else? These payment options are awesome. The black frames and shirt are sharp looking. Okay, thank you, Jake. Um, Appreciate it. All right, so going back to webinar slide. So sandbox to production workflow. I showed you one trick where you created a sandbox site and you change the plan, and it instantly converts to a production site. But let me remind you that we have configurations, we have snapshots, which you can use to kickstart your production, right? So with configuration, let me show you if you don't know that already. Go to configurations, and you can create multiple configurations by add new, but you can go to the WordPress tab and enter the plugins. Let's say you want to install Yoast, you can do that, and you can comma separate all the cool slugs from WordPress repository, or you can put a URL for the theme or plugin. Soon enough, we will have an upload option as well. So this will be something what other people call as blueprints, right? Where we install these plugins every single time when you create a website. It's not pre-installed, but so this is useful in some cases. What I also recommend is you create a site and you put all your stuff in it. If you are using, say, bricks, so you put the bricks builder, you put some demo content, etc. Everything is all ready. You put your license key, and then you save it as a snapshot. And from a snapshot, you can actually create a new website. So when you create a new site, choose from snapshot and choose the snapshot, right? So as easy as that. Now, bear in mind, the snapshot is created in the data center where you created the site. So it will all the time create in the same data center. You cannot change the data center later. So choose that wisely. I know it's not ideal. The best way to change data center right now, which is very very bad, is you can export an InstaWP, and while importing that InstaWP archive, you choose the data center in the next step, right? So that's not ideal. I know we are working on that. And then when you create a sandbox site, you can actually mount it locally. This is something cool we released 2 weeks ago. Let me show you how it works. And for the local mount to function, I will recommend you use your nearest data center. For me, I'm in India, so I'm going to use Singapore, and I'm going to create a site. And this site, once it gets created, it will allow me to actually mount remote files locally on my system. So I need to stop sharing and share my desktop instead. Just give me a moment. Yeah, there we go. So I hope you can see my entire desktop. And if I go inside the website, go to the local mount area, enable the local mount. This is similar to SSH, right? If you know how to enable SSH, and copy the URL. If you are using Mac, you can go to Finder. If you are using Windows, you can go to Explorer. We have tutorials for both of them in our documentation. So go to the Finder, go to Go Connect to Server, and then paste the URL in. Click on Connect, connect again, and then copy the username, copy the password, and connect. Boom. So now you are inside the file contents here. You don't see WP add includes, but that's on purpose because you are not going to change core files, right? And that reduces the load on the server, and that reduces the back and forth between the two on your local system and the one. You can see all the mounted sites here. I have mounted 2 more sites because I was doing AI-based development. I can actually show you how do I do that. So all you need to do is open your terminal. I use Cloud Code CLI. So what I do is I go to volumes and then The only problem right now which I see is that everything is like this, right? So I never know which one it is. So that's the problem. I'm trying to solve that. But for this, I know this is 2, and you can ls. You can actually make sure that this is the right side by simply changing the readme, because that is a harmless file, and say this is a demo, and do ls again, and you will see readme as demo. All right. So you will feel like you are browsing a local system. And let me spin up Claude. We are going a little bit outside the scope of today's presentation, but I don't mind. All right, so we are inside Claude. Let me clear this and say um, you are in the root folder of a WP site. Create a sample, create a nice plugin to demo plugin functionality. Yeah, I know it's a pretty bad prompt, but you get the idea of how you can use Claude or any other tool. You can use it with Windsurf or Cursor or whichever you like, and you can just drag and drop the folder into the workspace, and you can actually start to do all of these, right? And now cursor, sorry, Cloud Code. By the way, there is Gemini CLI. Now these CLI tools are really powerful, right? And this is now trying to create a plugin. The CLI tools are powerful because you don't actually have to see the editor. And I like editor, but I don't actually like to see the code it is trying to make, especially for basic plugins, right? So let it create directories and etc. Um, and once it is done, we will have a look at it. So I think it needs to do a lot of activities. So we will just keep doing that. If you press Shift Tab, it will auto accept edits. So, and we'll come back to that later. So you do the configuration and snapshots to kickstart your product sandbox flows. You click on AI local mount and do AI development with AI workflows. We have usual suspects like logs viewer, DB editor, code editor. One more thing which we are doing next week is in your folder, you will start to see a new folder. It says logs, and we will be able to basically give you logs as if you are seeing them locally. How cool that will be. Um, and I want to do that. So code editor, you don't need anymore for local mount. SFTP, you don't need that anymore for local mount. DB editor is something I want to solve somehow. But for now, it's easy actually. Just click on here and click on DB editor. So you get access to DB editor. You can do whatever you want. The great thing is that you don't need something like a local or anything running locally, and you and your team and others can continuously develop and monitor it. You can actually share the URL with the client, and they can monitor it as you work on the site. And now, so once you are done with the development, you have built the site. What is the next step? The next step would be to map a domain and change the plan. So let's do the plus plan. And just with a click of a button, I converted my sandbox site to a plus site. With the plus site, I automatically get CDN activated, Shield activated, daily backups activated. By the way, you don't see the backup tab yet here. That will be going live very soon, but we are taking backups in the background. And you will have controls like downloading a backup, creating a new site from the backup, um, restoring on the same site, of course. That will be a little bit dangerous, but it's up to you. Um, I think that's it. So we are innovating on backups as well. All right. So so now our site is converted to a plus plan. If I open it in incognito, it should be really fast for me. How do you test CDN? You go to something like TTFB tester and paste this in, and you will be able to see our CDN provider. I don't think it's working right now. There is something missing here. Oh, I know. It takes time to switch the DNS between non-CDN to CDN. To actually test it really well, we can start a new fresh site. Let's leave it for 5 more minutes. But just to test it, I am in India and this is US. So I'll start from the plus site itself. So now there is no switching of DNS between the non-CDN to CDN, and it will work from day one, right? So let's try to open it. Yeah, I'm just making sure that it is CDN activated. We are doing a lot of changes on every single day. Yeah, this is also not CDN activated. So let's wait for some time. You get the idea. In the meantime, I think the plugin is getting built. You can actually see that. Go to WP content plugins, and how fast is that? Right, means as it works as I browse. By the way, under the hood, we are using WebDAV, WEBDAV, as a protocol. If you have a client which supports, I mean, when I say client, I mean desktop client. So CyberDuck or anything like that, it will also support uh, the WebDAV. So just click on WebDAV and it will work. All right. So while it continuously does that, let me try to open this again and see if it is loading from CDN yet. All right, not yet. Give me a moment. Yeah, I think something is wrong, but you get the idea. We obviously are not lying. So we will activate CDN for you. And once it is activated, you will be able to enjoy that. So that's the CDN, and we also protect you against attacks like DDoS. We automatically detect bots also, and we present them a challenge similar to Cloudflare. So all of this is included in your plus plan and above. Um, all right, let me see if I missed anything. All right, now one more thing. If you remember, I told you in the pricing we automatically include the site management functionality for $9 and above. And what you need to do is go to the Manage tab, and it should be there. So this is the site we added just now. This is the icon which shows that this is an advanced plan. And now you can use all the options possible. You can actually enable uptime as well. So now the monitoring is on, and all the cool things which comes with this is now enabled for you. You can see the plugins, themes. You can actually generate PDF reports now. So you can say for this week, what are the activities? Do you want to send a copy to your client? Generate, and it will generate a report for you. It takes, I think, 2 to 3 minutes to generate the report. You can run performance scanning, you can run vulnerability scanning, you can activate activity logs. I think by default it is deactivated, but if you activate it, all the activities which is happening inside the WordPress site, it will be sent to us, and you can see that. So if somebody installs a plugin, etc., you know the drill. And you can also select a site, multiple sites, and click on bulk edit. Right now it is free for basic also, but we are going to remove that. It will only work for advanced sites. And you can bulk edit, install plugins, themes, etc. We are going to add core here as well. So you can on bulk edit all of these together. So the idea is to go from sandbox to production to care, right? So 3 workflows in one single dashboard. All right, so that completes my demo part. Let's see if okay. I think AI is still going, and I asked AI to develop a small plugin, but decided to do more. But anyway, so the FAQs which we have received so far is what happens to the existing monthly plans or yearly plans which you have. So the first problem which you will have is that you will not be able to use our new site plans in that, unfortunately. So I apologize for that. We are going to change that very soon. You will be able to create new teams and that team will be pay as you go team, right? But that will take time. Right now, if you want to use it, the best way is to create a new account. I know it's a hassle, but create a new account. You get $25 and you use the pay as you go account. The existing account, um, I will suggest you to keep it because sometimes it is very helpful. So you can just keep it. We have grandfathered in, no changes on that. You will continue to use as if you were using before. Will the new pricing builds on overages like disk or bandwidth? So some of you have asked for that. No, we don't charge you for extra bandwidth or disk because those are included in your package. So there is no surprises at the end of the month. You know, you have 5 sites, and the 5 sites are $9 sites, so you'll get a $45 bill. That's it. So we have basically created something like a digital ocean for WordPress. um, and how so a lot of people want to become agency partner. If you move at least 10 sites to us, you are eligible for the agency program. You can go to this URL. If you don't remember the URL, just go to our website. There is a menu on top. Let me show you how. There's a menu, agency program, and then apply for the program. What it will give you is minimum of 10% discount across the board. It will give you 50% cash back on the sites which you bring to us for 6 months. So say you bring 10 sites of yours, which is $90 for the plus plan. I'm just giving an example. For 6 months is $450. So half of that amount will be credited back to your account so that you can use it for the next billing period. And then you get access to perks, dedicated support, Slack channel, etc. So go ahead and apply for the agency program. We'll be very happy to have you. Before I talk about roadmap, let's see if we have the AI finish. Okay, so AI is done. It is created the custom post type, and I don't know, so many things. I don't even know what this plugin does yet, though. What was the website? Achiever Jaguar. All right, let me have a look at it. Yeah, this one. So let's try to magic log into that. By the way, yeah, now we have CDN activated, and it is missing the cache somehow, but I will check that with my team. And I think the TTFB test will fail again, but it's worth trying anyway. Oh, I've exhausted my limit. There's a new tool called Flying TTFB. I don't know if you've seen that. I like that tool. However, it was not opening for me today, so I don't like it anymore. All right, let's log in and see if this works. Oh, no. All right, I've pasted it in another tool. I want the TTFB test, not the performance monitoring. Yeah, so now it is served from Bunny CDN, but all the cache is right now going into miss. It should show hit, and the TTFB will come down to 50 milliseconds or something. I think if I do this again, it should do that. No, again going to miss. So I will have my team check it out. Once we start to see results, you will see that every TTFB is less than 50 milliseconds or 60 milliseconds. It really works. So yeah, I think I have covered everything. Let me see if we have any questions. So Kenneth asks, if I'm syncing back to a live e-commerce site, how do you prevent overwriting sales and new client info? I don't think we have covered syncing today, but we have a feature called two-way sync, where you can sync only the changes which you are doing. So you can do that. So check out two-way sync. I don't think we have time for that today. I'm sorry about that. The next question which we have is, let me do the clicking, Shivanshi, please. It's 1 a.m. in Japan. I'm heading off. All right. Thanks, Aizu. Really love the enthusiasm which you had. Is there a malware scanner running on the server, not just a WAF, checking uploaded file regularly? Unfortunately, we don't have a malware scanner yet. We are trying to work on that. We have something which we have written internally. It's not a full blown malware, but we do scan for phishing sites. We do have a support team which will help you if you get infected by malware, but we don't have a scanner yet. We do vulnerability checking, and then we have security shield. I think the malware is the third component of a security suite. We don't have that yet. I'm sorry. Um, I think we have covered a lot of questions, and we have been watched by a lot of people now. So let's talk about the last component, which is the roadmap. So I told you about VAS rewrite for pay-as-you-go sites or site plan, new site plans, and the new WooCommerce plugin. Once we have the new WooCommerce plugin, it's almost done. The WooCommerce plugin is almost here early next week. I will make a video and upload to YouTube. For the VAS rewrite, you will have to wait for 3-4 weeks. And once that's ready, we will do a proper webinar. And this time around, I will do a series of webinars on how to do VAS, because I think VAS can be the game changer in AI era or the new era which we are in. You can completely automate your agency with VAS. With the VAS, we are also giving you new API endpoints, so you can actually create your own white label panel. By the way, I don't think you will need that with the new WooCommerce plugin, which we are working on. The plugin will soon have integration with EDD and Shortcut others, but first we want to make sure that the WooCommerce works really well. Because not only we are working on API endpoints, we are working on webhooks too, so that it's completely in sync between the dashboard and the WordPress plugin. We are adding capability for buying domains. So the idea is not for you to buy domains. The idea for you to sell domains via VAS or something like that. But it will be a place to buy a domain at cost to cost basis. We don't want to make money on domains. We'll give you more controls for CDN and Shield, so you will be able to control the CDN. Right now, all you have is a purge cache. So if you go to site details page, you will see the small button on top. It says purge cache, and you will be able to purge CDN cache with that. Next up, we will give you, as I said, CDN controls to purge a specific URL, and then Shield controls to switch on and off WAF, switch on and off DDoS, switch on and off bot detection. You will be able to download the logs of Shield to see what was blocked and what was not, etc. We are going to give you image optimizer on one of the higher plans included for free, which is the Bunny default image optimization. We use the Bunny infrastructure for CDN, Shield, and images, right? So that will come as default on, I think, one of the higher plans, not for the $9 plan, and also Redis. So that will be object caching. So this will take the whole quarter and maybe more, but you will get update as we do release them. So I hope this was helpful. So Jake is asking, is there an FAQ on Cloudflare/InstaWP? I don't quite understand the question, Jake. Is that because we don't use Cloudflare underneath? Is it about like mapping a domain at Cloudflare, and how do we do that? So the bottom line is you disable the proxy while you are mapping, and then you re-enable it after the mapping. However, you don't need a CDN anymore if you are using our CDN. That's the plan. Thanks, Kenneth. We will definitely do more frequent webinars, if that's what you mean. So far, I'm done with the webinar. If you have any questions, feel free to comment right now or later. We will definitely answer them as and when you comment on it. And feel free to reach out to us on live support. I'm reachable on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, or my email is vikas@instawp.com. You can directly email me. I'm happy to answer any questions which you might have. Um, all right, I think we have a great question, which is how can I deal with low volume sites that time to time have huge peaks in traffic? So I do not have the exact answer for that. We are working on something um, which will help you auto scale. So it will detect that spike. If it is like a small spike of 5 minutes, we will not be able to take action instantly. But if it goes for say 15 minutes, then we will increase the plan automatically to say plus plan from starter. And once the spike goes down, we'll bring it back to starter plan. So that will be how I will handle it. But right now, if you want to do it, so go from starter to plus plan manually as you see traffic increase. I know that's not ideal. I'm just giving you workaround. Um, and then bring it back to starter plan once you are done. With our pay as you go pricing, per day pricing, you will be charged for the upgrade for the days you have upgraded. You will not be charged for $9 for the whole month. You will only be charged for say 5 days, 2 days, 3 days. So that's the beauty of pay as you go, right? You don't need to pay upfront or for the whole month. So I hope that helps in some way, not exactly you were expecting, I believe. But yeah, thanks for the great question. All right, so I'll wait for 30 more seconds to see if we have any other questions on the stream. Just have my water. Yeah, we are working on it. First, we will work on real time traffic monitoring. So you will be able to see how much traffic you are getting in real time in your dashboard. And once we have that, we will be able to automatically bring the plans up and down, basically auto scale. Yeah, so that's going to happen very soon. Alrighty. So with that, I'm going to end the webinar. I sincerely thank you for your time today, and I hope to see you soon in the next one. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.